it's not so easy one. I think, well, I am a human being. I am nature. I am love. I am an activist. I am vulnerability. So I stand for a strong commitment with life, authenticity, oneness, and integrity. And I think that our identity is the story that we tell about us. So I look back and I am clear about the seeds that were planted to guide my path, no, and a family connecting with the land, multiple experience in fusion with nature, which they are creating what I am now. This led me to explore the relationship between people with our planet and also the ecology of life. And I learn a lot from people who live in garbage dump in Patagonia, Argentina. Also from native communities who are threatened by oil companies in the Peruvian Amazon, and also from the unrecognized indigenous ethnic groups in the Mekong region who are looking for new agroecological ways of life. So in addition, Greenpeace is my second home. I have grown specializing in training of trainers, creation of communities, working in networks at international level, national level, local level, development of co-leadership, and also non-violence direct action, risk analysis, management of organizations. Well, all these things to transform the world. It is my passion. And it's a quite trip in Greenpeace, no? And now I am at the beginning of a new adventure, and a very challenging adventure, which is lead Greenpeace Spain as executive director. So this is my story, more or less. Yeah, I can say that well, I'm going to bring a sentences that Angela Davis said. That is, you have to act as if a radical transformation of the world is possible, and you have to do it all the time. And for me, leadership is like a dance of chain, no? It's being chain, design chain, and lead chain. And it is the as a ability to connect with your inner purpose, your capacity and the potential that you have, and bring that to the world, no? You have to decide with responsibility, changing narratives, and have other people growing around you and growing with them, and also taking action together. So it is more or less my concept of leadership. But also, for me, leadership is like, yeah, it's about listening, no? Listen like a primitive art of love, in which a person gives herself to another thinking, another world, making herself accessible and vulnerable to that world, no, and to this other kind of thinking. I believe that leadership has been very marked and crossed by the capitalism system that has been and unfortunately continues to operate now. A leadership that concentrates all the power, the wealth, and the decision making in a few people, and that manage in a very specialized silos. No, it's in very with barriers between these different departments, silos, specialization. No, and also a leadership which is disconnecting of universal values and human rights, with a structure of control and domination in different and invisible scales. Most of the time, probably because these people have not been aware. No, it's not something very conscious. No, but yeah, it's creating all this kind of system. We are crossing all the kind of planetary limits of the only planet that we have. No, it's a beautiful planet, and I think it's very difficult to find another planet like La Tierra, and also this planet Earth is unique and is facing big challenges, no, such as the climate emergency, the loss of biodiversity, the high and enormous gap of inequalities, the food crisis, and just as we have to turn the system to change completely a system which is totally broken, we really need another kind of leaderships. No, maybe it's not only one; it's different kinds of types of the leadership, but for sure we need another kind of leadership. Activists is action, no? Action to bring about political or social change based on values that benefits society, benefits all of us, and create systems and cultures that work for everyone with no one left out. So in this critical moment, the role of activists in leadership is to resist from a different place, no? Creating a space and possibility. So for me, it's crucial, no? It's crucial, this role, and to go from blame to responsibility, to go from going back in patterns to create new ones, from fragmenting silos that I was mentioned before to radical collaboration, from oligopoly to democratization, from profit to rights, human rights, and also all beings' rights, from passive agents to chain agents, also from not enough to embrace abundance and possibilities, and from theories of change to practice of change, no? And this this transformation, for me, yes, all leaders should be activists, and again, everyone can be an activist. Intergovernmental Panel for Climate Change, the IPCC, yelled at us last year that we are in a red code for humanity, no? Red code for humanity. So I don't know what we need to understand, that we live in a climate emergency with an unprecedented loss of biodiversity and these huge inequality gaps. And so I think the headline of that list will say something like, hey, wake up to transform the ecosystem, accumulation of power and profits and corruptions and violence, to an ecosystems of innovation that creates alternative futures, no? And then these leaders should lead profound and deep change in changing the place from which every system is operating. So in every role, they can change these roots, no? These people should be guided by not only not only thinking but also acting on universal values. No, it is one of the first thing. It's thinking in all of us and in the common good. No, and to inspire change and generate strategic action with justice, equity, diversity, inclusion, safety, definitely all about ecofeminism. But living these values, not only talking about them. No, it is one of the first thing. It's not thinking in my strategy and in my activities or in my profiles. It's thinking about the planet and the life in the middle. No, in every decision. And also probably they need to show commitment. No, a strong commitment to take action beyond and especially in complex or challenging circumstances, because we are on that in this moment. Maybe other thing that these people should do, all of us we need to do, no, it's to empower and enable others to lead. It's not only about us, no, it's about everyone. So we need to accompany them to take risks and bring about change, no? And maybe also something about embracing the emerging as an opportunity to transform, no? What is coming now, then how we can use that and arrive to other place.
And in your life, you actually have had the chance, like you mentioned in the introduction, to travel the world and really deeply connect with indigenous communities in Asia, the Amazon forests. Is there something that you consider leaders can learn from these communities and nature in general?
Mm. What indigenous communities have taught me the most is about voluntary simplicity. And I think we are in a moment where we need to think about how we can reduce our level of consumption and production and change our mind to this voluntary simplicity and their deep connection. No, these communities have a very deep connection with themselves and their purpose, with their communities, no, the others, and with nature. And I believe that in the Western world the Western world has generated these three gaps, no, between ourselves, the others, and nature, that must be repaired and regenerated. And nature, and what I can say about nature, nature is my home, and it doesn't matter where I have been. That is how I have felt, no, at home. So one of the things, but one of the things that we need to understand is that we are nature, or we are nature. We are not separate of nature, and we need to reconnect with that. And that is very important message that we need to understand, and the indigenous movement bring that all the time. I believe that companies, corporations can learn from organizations, NGOs, how to act based on universal values, no, and the importance of putting life at the at the center of every decision. And the other way around, I think the NGOs can learn from companies their greater orientation toward results and impact, no? How they are really focused on that. Maybe questioning all these values, not that they maybe they are missing, but yeah, they really are focused in move on, no, and it's something that in our sector sometimes we we have a more chaotic way to arrive there. I think that I need to breathe very deep every day and try to smile, no, to feel like, okay, I'm here. It is the best place where I can be, no. But I also try to be radically connecting with my purpose. And I say it radically because sometimes I feel like I have to find those roots to stay focused in a noisy world. No, it is one of the most important things. The second one maybe is I trust a lot in the collective intelligence and the power of the people. It's something that I have been doing always. But now, especially, I don't believe in the loneliness of the leader, and I am aware that I'm not going to change anything alone. So it is something that gives me a lot of power. I try to support the discomfort that sometimes generate in me this position today. No, I try to hold that, um, leaving sometimes or every second my comfort zone, because I know that this will lead to be more comfortable tomorrow. No, not today, but probably I'm going to learn, and tomorrow I'm going to be more comfortable. And yeah, and I constantly I feel, no, that constantly I'm learning from mistakes, and being imperfect is not a problem, no. But sometimes I need to repeat that because yeah, the life is demanding you a lot of things, no. And the last thing, but not less, is I'm trying to have fun, no, and I think that if it's not fun, it is not sustainable. So it is one of the things that I try. Not always is easy, but I try. I'm inspiring for the people who are around me, my mother, my grandparents, my children, my kids, friends. I really learn a lot from them, and they are especially close, and I feel that I need to learn from them a lot. I'm for sure very inspired by women who promote other paradigms, as Donella Meadows in the past, Monica Sharma, Karen O'Brien, Jane Goodall, Joanna Macy, to name a few. But but above all, native women, defenders of the earth, who are or have been in the front line in the eye of the hurricane, risking their lives. Voices, silences, as Berta Cáceres, are for sure my inspiration. Yes, there are many alternative futures, and we have to build them together. As Karen O'Brien says, you matter more than you think. So don't forget that everyone can be a leader and everyone can be an activist. Thank you very much.